I think that we should all lead by example. And I think a lot of times we're faced with seeing what people are doing, and we get kind of lost in the minutia of how people are behaving, how people are doing things. And I believe that sometimes what the mass is doing isn't always the right thing.
The world is in need of a different kind of leader. Every leader must answer the question, am I a serving leader or a self-serving leader? How are you leading in today's society? You're watching the show for a reason, and joining us are the greatest servant leaders of our society. Welcome to the Servant Leadership Show, where we discuss and implement servant leadership in our day-to-day lives and the impact it has on others. Welcome to the Servant Leadership Show. I am so excited that I have fantastic guests with me today. I've got 3 guests. I've got Towonda, Kilpatrick, Missi Wilson, and my beautiful wife, Damien de Klerk.
Hi, everybody.
My co-host today, Towonda's the author of Unselfish Woman, and I'm excited because Unselfish Woman is all about servant leadership. It goes hand in hand. And Missi Wilson, who is in the book.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to see this show take off, and I pray that it just goes to new heights and reaches people and helps bring the leadership to our community that we so desperately need.
Towonda, introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are and tell us how Unselfish Woman came about.
I am Towonda Kilpatrick. I live here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been here for now about 21 years, but I used to live in Texas. I used to live in West Texas and Lubbock, Texas. Yeah, so I got some Texas roots. Yes. So, but Unselfish Women came to me. I am a screenwriter and producer is what I do every day, work on. But this vision came to me. I had a blood clot in my lungs, and I thought I was about to leave here. Got rushed to the hospital, and I was really shocked because I'm a person who's always doing stuff in the community, wanting to highlight people and make stuff happen. So during that time when I was in the hospital, which was 3 days, I had so many amazing girlfriends come to see me that I think they named that suite the Diva Suite because they said, we never seen so many awesome women come and they all look so beautiful. But it was just that one moment when God needed to speak to me. And he had something that he needed for me to do. And I wanted to do this book, but I kept putting it off because I really didn't know how it was going to make any sense. And so the word was, do it. I got you. It's going to happen.
Yes.
So it started January 2019. I started working on the book. I started sending out emails, nominating different people. People were sending it back to me. And I wanted to highlight everyday women that was making a difference in their communities. I think a lot of times that we're all looking at the people that our mentors and, Oprah's and all of the, the big names,
Yes,
and
yes.
they're doing amazing things. But I wanted to spotlight everyday women that was also making a difference in their communities.
Absolutely.
So it started out, it was going to be 100 women, and they kept coming and kept coming, and I didn't want to turn anybody away. So we got over 100 nominations in this book.
Yay.
This is the book. And
fantastic.
it was so amazing listening to the stories and talking to all of the people. I'm going to show you Misty here. But this book came to me because all of these women had something to say, and I didn't want to miss out. So there she is.
Yay!
Oh my
Give a little
God,
clap over there.
amazing.
That's
Amazing.
great. Missi is one of the most unselfish women that I know. And I've known her in the business community, and she is always promoting non-profit organizations.
Oh,
Every time that I see her, she is giving.
I love that.
Towonda, you talked a little bit about, about your role models.
Yes.
Tell me, who was your role model growing up?
Oprah Winfrey. I was going to be Oprah Winfrey. I was like, wow, one day I want to be on her show. I want to see her. And I just kind of watched her as she grew. I cut out, you get the magazines and she was in there. I would cut her picture out and I would just like paste it on stuff. Like one day I'm gonna meet her, I'm gonna see her, because everything that she was doing was things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that I wanted to do it on the level that I could do it on. So I just made her my role model. I kept going, and hopefully still one day I get to meet her.
Yes.
I haven't gotten to meet her, but I've definitely gone to support in all of the things that she's done.
That's
but
fantastic.
she has been my role model, and that hasn't changed.
That is fantastic. And Missi, tell me about you. Who was your model growing up? Your role model?
Well, when I was a child, I moved around a lot. We had a very colorful upbringing, to say the least. And there was one family in particular that really stood out to me. I mean, they weren't like Oprah famous, but it was the Methodist minister, Gary Turner. His daughter and me were best friends, and his family took me in a lot and really set a good example and really put in the morals and the values that I have today that kind of set the tone for where I believe I should be with the community and giving back. I think that they really did set the standards for me in a young age. So growing up, I guess that too made the biggest impression in my life was that family, Gary Turner and Carol Turner.
Excellent.
Awesome.
And you're not driving, are you?
No.
You may not be driving and talking. So, hey, there's the driver. We share a name in common. Who's sitting in the back seat with you?
You have my favorite name, my son, the apple of my eye, Damien.
Hey, Damien. Good to see you, buddy. And I'm going to go to Michelle, my beautiful wife. And she is the most unselfish woman in my life that I know. Michelle, who's your role model growing up?
Well, that would be my parents.
Yep.
They just established a lot of good moral character in me, the love of God. My mom was just always giving to everybody in the community, and just the best word I can describe for her is just always kind. And my dad was a hard worker and just provided for us and worked hard all of his life.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I can vouch for that. Just knowing Michelle's father, he passed away a few years ago, and what a great man, a true servant leader, and we miss him a lot, don't we?
We do.
Absolutely. And we see him in the kids, and I see him in you all the time, and that's great. Towonda and Missi, tell me a little bit about on the business side of things. How do you implement, or a couple examples of how you implement servant leadership on a day-to-day basis? Because that's what this show's about. We're not looking for the biggest names. We want everyday people out there doing everyday things that make huge impacts in the community because they're selfless. Missi, would you like to start?
Sure. So I do a few different things. So I'm in real estate, and then I own a marketing firm, and then I have that MissInformed radio show. And so I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of different people in the community, and I always find myself gravitating towards the go-getters and the ones that are champion a cause. For instance, the reason that Damien and I know each other is because we were both in a networking group, and the leader of it was Mark Walsham. And Mark, if you know Mark, then you know the right guy. He's a connector, and he is always championing a cause, things of that nature. I guess I just really try to surround they say you're the company you keep, right? So I try to be around others that are hungry for success and also have the right mindset. You can run into a lot of different people in this industry that are just out for themselves,
Correct.
out to hurt others, and luckily there's also good people out there that are trying to put good in. And I just try to latch on to those that are being good and try to help push the cause. So anybody that I know is championing a charity, a lot of times I try to get behind it. And there's a lot of really great charities out there, you guys,
Yes.
from helping women get out of hardship situations like Hills on the Move, all the way to veteran organizations like Carry the Load. There is just a plethora, of different things out there that you can get involved in. And I just feel like there's no reason for us not to be giving back, because as a Christian, I believe that to receive blessings, you need to be giving blessings. You need to be putting out good so that you can receive blessings.
Right.
Thank you, Michelle. Towonda, tell us about yourself.
Okay, and I just wanted to say Heels on the Move is also featured in the book.
Hey.
Yes, they are.
That's
They're featured in the book too. So for me, I am, I'm a writer and producer. I do original content for TV, film, and live content. I had just finished last year doing a play about mental illness, and it's awesome production. And it was a play just to speak about how in the African American community, that's something that we didn't talk about. So it was a really good piece, and we're going to, work on that as doing that as a ending film. But to go back and speak about the book, like I said, I'm in Atlanta, but it was so many women in your area right there in Texas that we are also highlighting in the book, that have these amazing nonprofits that we wanted to share. So it wasn't just, this book has women from 12 different states that all have nonprofits. So this is a book that gives back, and how the book gives back is that everybody can go to our website, Unselfish Women, and click on any of the nonprofits and learn whatever they want to learn about them and make a donation. Or in the index of the book, we also list who they are, the nonprofits, and they can still go and give to that nonprofit.
Yes.
So what we're doing here with the Unselfish team, we're working on a big surprise for the nonprofits that's in the book. In the book, we have 73. So we're working on something where we can highlight the nonprofits so that they can get donations for what they're doing in their communities.
Yes.
That's who I am. That's what I'm about.
That is the heart of the Servant Leadership Show, Towonda. In our lives, we go through times and things impact us that, but whenever we give, we always get back.
Yes.
And coming into that mindset, Missi, when we go and we network, we're looking, how can I offer something to the person next to me? We know that what we get in return is it's a blessing, and what we give is a blessing as well. So I just thank you both for being on the show. It is such an honor to have you here. I also wanted to highlight that Michelle, she volunteers at Thrive Women's Clinic. Okay, and so that's why I've got her on the show as well. Other than she's the most unselfish person I know. But Michelle, tell us a little bit about Thrive Women's Clinic.
Well, Thrive Women's Clinic is a place where we help women that find themselves in unplanned pregnancies, that they're at a crossroad in their life and lost and not sure what to do. And it really speaks to my heart, because I was also in that situation in my life. I had an unplanned pregnancy at 16. Wasn't sure. I now have a beautiful daughter and 3 granddaughters from that. But and I was also an adopted child, and so we meet those women there where they're at. We help educate them on all their options, and just show them love, God's love, during the process of that.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
So, thank you, Michelle. That is, when I see you out there volunteering, it inspires me as your husband to want to go out there and do the same. And and I also wanted to just touch that before we leave, because we've got a few more minutes. I want to leave you with the last words, both Missi and Towonda. Tell us a little bit, Missi, tell us a little bit about what you say in the book. Give me 1 minute. And then Towonda, how can our viewers find your book, read it, and make an impact? We'll put up links to the nonprofits, to the book, and we're excited to see the link that you're going to put together with all the nonprofits so that we can share that and learn to give. Because we have people reaching out saying, how can I give? How can I give?
Right.
Tell us more about that. Missi, you're featured in the book. Tell us a little bit about what you say in there.
The gist of it, guys, is that I think that we should all lead by example. And I think a lot of times we're faced with seeing what people are doing, and we get kind of lost in the minutia of how people are behaving, how people are doing things. And I believe that sometimes what the mass is doing isn't always the right thing. And it's up to us to listen to God and to try to be the example that we want others to be like. I don't do anything that I don't want him to see, right? And I always try to put that in my head,
Yep.
What would my son think? What would Jesus think? Whenever I'm making decisions and whenever I'm doing actions. And I think that kind of helps keep me where I need to be. And I think for a lot of other women in the world who are looking to have somebody to look up to or to set an example for them, especially young women, I just want to set a good example, and I want them to know that they can be strong, they can be successful, and they can be fierce as long as they put God first and everything else second.
Thank you, Missi. Towonda, give us the last words.
The last words is I just encourage everybody to continue to be grateful and have gratitude with whatever it is that you do. And I think if we put that first, everything else will follow. That's kind of the motto that me and my team does. We're grateful for what we can do, grateful for what we have that we can share. And we want to continue to keep doing that to make a difference. And how everybody can get the book is unselfishwomen.com. You can go to our website. You can purchase a book there. You can also go through each one of the nonprofits. It's 73 nonprofits. Click on their website. Find out how, whatever it is that you need to know about them is there. And you can make a donation, and that donation goes directly to that foundation.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Towonda. Thank you, Missi. Thank you, Michelle, for being on the show today. You guys are a huge blessing to our viewers, to me, and I couldn't thank you enough. Thank you for being on the Servant Leadership Show. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.